Taekook appears at the opening of the Paso concert. Fans screams send chills everywhere. LPASO, as the echoes of the opening performance still trembled through the arena. Something unusual began to unfold, something that made fans realize the night was far from over. The stage went dark again, but this time the silence felt different, heavier. Anticipation hung thick in the air as thousands of light sticks flickered, like a galaxy waiting to explode. Fans who had just screamed themselves breathless now held on to every second, as if afraid to blink and miss what might come next. Then, a soft instrumental began to play, a melody unfamiliar yet hauntingly beautiful. The giant screen flickered once more, and suddenly, behind-the-scenes footage appeared. Clips of Kim Tae-young and Chun Jungkook walking through narrow backstage hallways, adjusting their in-ear monitors, exchanging brief glances that seemed to carry unspoken words. The crowd fell into a stunned silence. It felt intimate, almost too personal, a narrative hidden within the performance. As the footage continued, fans began to notice something deeper. This wasn't random. It was telling a story. Moments flashed across the screen. A rehearsal room where Chun Jungkook missed a step and laughed, while Kim Tae-young watched quietly from the corner. A dimly lit stage where both stood side by side, facing an empty arena. A close-up shot of their hands brushing past each other, brief, almost accidental. Each clip was only seconds long, but together they formed something powerful, something intentional. Fans began whispering, speculating in real time. Was this leading to another performance? Or revealing something more? The unexpected return. Without warning, the music shifted again. The soft melody transformed into a deep cinematic beat. And then they reappeared. This time, not from opposite sides of the stage, but from the center, walking side by side. The arena erupted once more, louder than ever before. If the first appearance had shocked the fans, this moment shattered them. Kim Tae-young stepped forward first, his expression calm yet intense, while Chun Jungkook followed closely, his presence equally commanding. But what came next? No one expected. A performance unlike anything before. The choreography this time was slower, more deliberate. Every movement felt heavier, almost symbolic. At one point, the two stood face to face. No music, no movement, just eye contact. The entire arena fell silent. Even the fans who had been screaming moments earlier seemed frozen, sensing that they were witnessing something rare, something that couldn't be recreated. Then, in perfect synchronization, they turned toward the audience, and the music exploded. The dance that followed was intense, raw, and emotionally charged. It wasn't just performance, it felt like expression, like a message delivered without words. Fans began to notice the details. As clips of the second performance spread online, fans began analyzing every second, frame by frame. Some pointed out recurring gestures, movements that seemed to mirror earlier choreography from past performances. Others focused on the visuals, matching color tones in their outfits, subtle lighting shifts that highlighted them together rather than individually, camera angles that emphasized connection rather than distance. This isn't random, one fan wrote online. Everything is too precise. Theories flooded in. Was this hinting at a new subunit? A concept project? Or something even bigger? Backstage whispers grow louder. Meanwhile, inside the venue, whispers among staff began to grow. Several insiders hinted that what happened on stage was only a fraction of what had been planned. There are elements we haven't even seen yet, one source claimed quietly. Another added, this is just the opening chapter. Such statements only intensified the mystery. What else could possibly follow something this massive? The emotional breaking point. Toward the end of their second performance, something changed. The energy shifted. The choreography slowed. And once again, Chun Jungkook turned slightly toward Kim Tae-young. This time, the moment lasted longer. Not just a glance, a pause, a shared breath. The crowd reacted instantly, screams, cries, hands reaching toward the stage as if trying to hold on to the moment. Some fans later described it as overwhelming, saying they felt a mix of joy, disbelief, and something they couldn't quite explain. A closing that raises more questions. As the music faded, the two stood once again at the center of the stage. But instead of leaving immediately, they did something unexpected. They looked out at the audience, then at each other, and for a brief second smiled. Not the wide, performative smile seen on stage countless times before, but something softer, more real. Then, without a word, they turned and walked off together. No dramatic ending, no final pose, just gone. Global impact. The internet can't keep up. Within minutes, the world reacted. Streaming platforms saw sudden spikes. Fan communities flooded with posts, theories, and emotional reactions. Some called it the most powerful concert opening ever, a moment that redefines performance, something that felt bigger than music. Even casual viewers who stumbled upon the clips admitted they could feel the intensity through their screens. Paso, just when it seemed like the night had reached its peak. The atmosphere inside the arena shifted yet again, subtly at first, but unmistakably. The lights didn't come back on immediately. Instead, a low hum filled the space. Not music, something deeper, almost like a distant echo. Fans who had been shouting nonstop began to quiet down, as if instinctively sensing that something else was about to unfold. And they were right. A third phase no one expected. Minutes passed. Or at least it felt like minutes. Time inside the arena had become distorted, stretched, between anticipation and disbelief. Then suddenly a single spotlight cut through the darkness. At center stage, and beneath it stood no one. A collective murmur spread through the crowd. Confusion, excitement, fear of missing something crucial. Then, from behind the stage, a silhouette slowly emerged, followed by another. It was them. Kim Tae-young and Jungkook, but something about this moment felt different from everything that came before. No explosive entrance, no dramatic beat drop, just a quiet walk into the light. The moment that silenced thousands. As they stepped fully into the spotlight, the entire arena fell into an almost unnatural silence. No screams, no chants, just thousands of people holding their breath at the same time. For the first time that night, neither of them moved immediately. Kim Tae-young looked out at the audience slowly, carefully, like he was trying to take in every face. Beside him, Jungkook stood still, his expression softer than before, less like a performer, more like someone present in the moment. Then, unexpectedly, Jungkook raised his microphone. Fans gasped. The first words of the night. "Did you miss us?" The question was simple, but the reaction was anything but. The arena erupted louder than ever before. Screams layered over screams, some fans crying instantly, others jumping, shaking, unable to process that after everything that had already happened. They were now speaking. Tae-young let out a quiet laugh, shaking his head slightly as he looked at Jungkook. Then he spoke. "We missed you more." The response triggered another wave of emotions so intense that security staff were seen scanning the crowd more carefully, ensuring no one was overwhelmed. Because this was no longer just a performance. This was connection. An unscripted conversation or perfectly planned? What followed felt spontaneous, but fans weren't entirely convinced. Jungkook glanced toward Tae-young again, then back at the audience. "We didn't plan to say much tonight," he admitted, smiling faintly. "But this place feels different." Tae-young nodded, stepping slightly closer. "It's loud," he said softly, "but somehow it feels quiet too." The contradiction only deepened the emotional atmosphere.